A Look at the Track is underwritten by the generous support of the Inn at Earl West, a dining experience.
Well, welcome to Fashion Week. Hi. How you doing?
This is it. This is it.
You know, viewers have noticed on occasion that I managed to wear shorts with a sport jacket. Usually that goes over pretty well, but when you wear that jacket with those shorts, Trotter, I'm telling you.
It's 100 degrees out there.
Oh, I see. You have it.
Just came from poolside.
Oh, I see. That's right.
Poolside handicapping, we call it.
Oh, I understand. Okay, well, good. Well, this is, of course, Trotter Furlong, and this is a weekly look at the track. Well, welcome, Trotter. Nice to have you back.
Glad to be here.
Now, I know you're not going to say it, so I'm going to say it. Trotter hit something, you know, you learn something every week with Trotter. He did something a couple of Fridays ago called the IRS Signer. And I think you could probably tell because I used the word IRS, or the acronym INS, and Signer, that you might have hit it big with a pick 4.
Well, the government's always going to get their cut, so you got to let them know that you had a nice one. I caught a nice pick 4. I started out with the $25 horse into the longest shot on the board. The horse paid $50 in the second leg, which right off the bat I knew was going to be a bonkers number. And then I got lucky to get the rest of the way home. I caught a $10 horse and a $12 horse. And it was a nice size number. You probably could do the math for the parlay yourself.
Right.
And, you know, they got to take your picture at the track. You got to give the government their cut. But still, at the end of the day, a couple of extra dollars or two to go out for a nice dinner and put a little away.
Something tells me that put a permanent smile on your face.
Well, you know, this meet's tough. You know, you're going to have your losses, your ups and downs.
Of course.
And you wait for the big hit here. And Saratoga gives you that. It's going to give you prices, and it's going to give you that payout that kind of can bail out a slow meet or an up and down meet.
I want to just talk quickly because every year we mention the handicappers contest. That happened, and that guy took home a nice piece of change.
Yeah, well, Brett Weiner won it. I sat with him last year at Vegas. Great player. Picked up $100,000 for his effort. Nice 2-day paycheck. And he gets a trip to Vegas, and he's in the Breeders' Cup entry, which is another $10,000 too. So, I mean, it was quite some payday for 2 days of work.
I'm telling you something, those are big numbers.
Real big numbers. Like I said, I think a lot of the guys that play the game, you like going deep sea fishing. You want to catch the big one, and he landed the shark, and that was, you know, you wait for those days, and when you hit them, the ups and downs, the cries, the ripping up of the papers, the tickets, you get paid here, and it all goes away real quick.
Yeah. But you want something, I really want to congratulate. He's being somewhat humble about this. You do a pick 4, picking those kinds of horses with those odds. You're damn right. The IRS is taking your picture.
Oh, yeah.
And they get their money up front. That's why they're there.
They get it up front. Yeah. Hopefully, can write it off at the end of the year. You get it back. But you know what? I put together a real nice ticket, and I won 2 photos. I always say you got to win your photo finishes, and the handicapping was good. A little racing luck from the gods, and you get your payday, and it makes it a fun weekend and a fun rest of the meet going forward here.
Well, look, you know, if you're talking to the gods, how about American Pharaoh? Is he coming? What's the word?
I mean,
hey, you know, today's the deadline.
Right. It's been an ongoing story. I mean, I'm almost at the point I'm probably going to get some slack for some of these comments, but it's put up or shut up time. I mean, you got to show up now. He's training well. There's no reason not to come. I mean, Zenyatta was a great horse. She was fabulous, but she never came outside her comfort zone. And I'm just having a feeling with this American Pharaoh, they don't want to lose. Right. So they're running them in spots right now that the Haskell was set up nice. He ran a great race. Baffert does well there. But, hey, you want to win. You want to be the top horse. You did the Triple Crown great. Come to the Travers. Come to Saratoga. You're the horse to beat. You know,
right.
People want to see it, you know. You don't want to sit your all-star in the World Series. You know, this is it. This is the Midsummer Derby. Come and play the game. Enough said with that.
I think that was rather well
right
spoken.
To the point. Right, like show up.
Well, you know, you talk about the Travers for male horses. This weekend we've got the Alabama Stakes, which is kind of the I've always heard that's the Phillies version of the Travers.
And we got a great rematch. We talked about it previous. I'm a Chatterbox versus Carolina. They raced last time. I'm a Chatterbox was DQ'd. Larry Jones still not too happy with the outcome, but I think there's going to be some other horses in that race that are going to take a shot. Those are the two big names. Larry Jones brings another horse in called Lovely Maria that ran a nice race, and I think they're going to turn the table on those two horses. I remember from years back, two horses ding-dong and they wiped each other out. So I'm going to look for an outsider in that race, maybe to beat the two spotlight names, beat the two chalks, beat the two favorites, and look for a price. I think they did a lot of racing last time, and sometimes you wear each other out, and like Rocky Balboa and Apollo Creed, I don't want a rematch. They knocked each other out, and I'm looking, maybe to find a price somewhere else in that race, and that's what we do up at Saratoga.
Yeah, you're right about that. Speaking of which, we got a couple of picks for tomorrow.
Starting off second race, number 9 horse, Governor Malibu, 6-1. I'm back on my boy Rosario. He's been riding a lot better. He kind of had a little slow meet, but these guys figure things out. They're professionals. I like him too. I think this horse is going to get overlooked in the wagering. Rudy Rodriguez has a horse that draws the 1 hole, which I think is tough for first-time starters. Linda Rice has a horse in the race that's probably going to take a lot of money. She's been firing with a lot of her firsters. And then Todd Pletcher has a horse in the race, second time out, which always attracts a lot of money. But I didn't think the horse ran that well first out, and he should have. And I'm not going to fall for the trap second time. So I think 6-1, Governor Malibu draws a nice outside, cozy spot, the 9 hole, gets a look at, see what's happened. And Rosario's been riding real good on these 2-year-olds.
Yeah,
so.
you speak very highly of him every single time you do.
He's a top-notch rider. He got off to a slow meet, but, like I said.
They figure it out.
They figure it out, how the track's playing. Don't get caught on the front end. Sit back, make one run. And, and that's what a good handicapper does that. Figures out what the problem is, his speed favoring, his closers, who's riding hot, who's adjusting, and not only do the jockeys do it, good handicappers do it.
You got another pick?
I got one more, 6th race, Don Dolce, the 7 horse. He's 5-1. This is a horse that, it's kind of a handicapper special. This horse, I have a feeling he's going to be right there, and I call this a key horse. Use this horse in your exactas. He doesn't necessarily love to win, so don't get trapped on the win end. But if you're playing exactas, key this horse. He's going to be right there. He runs good races. Bruce Levine gets him back. And like I said, I think at 5-1, you're going to put him in an exacta. You're going to catch a nice, juicy exacta with him.
Have a good weekend, all right?
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week.
I can't wait for this Alabama. I've always had big weekends, so want to keep it rolling.
We'll keep this is the Lucky Alabama
This is the Lucky Alabama. We've had it 3 years in a row, and we're not going to change anything right now.
I'll see you next week.
Very good.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.
A Look at the Track is underwritten by the generous support of the Inn at Earl West, a dining experience.